ho. Welcome back to the program, you guys. I'm excited to do the show tonight. This is Clouded Stocks, and I am your host, JJ Speculation. Now, this week's episode, How We Do, is brought to you by Marie Sharp's Habanero Pepper Sauce. Now, what I love about this sauce is it's got a little bit of carrot. So when you feel like life is giving you the stick, reach for the hot sauce with a little carrot. Marie Sharp's, always imported as a fine product of Belize. Now, let's get right into this thing today. First, I got to tell you guys the basic mission of the show. It's simple, but it sure ain't easy. I'm trying to show you guys that with the basic principles of supply and demand that we're going to go through on this show using ancient charting methods of candlesticks, volume, relative strength, and oh yeah, the Ichimoku cloud, that we can teach you that with enough time and dedication, anyone can trade. Now, this YouTube series is meant to be in sequence with our other content. We release a newsletter daily for you guys. We have tweets. We have Instagram. It's all at the hashtag and the handle Clouded Stocks. It's always going to be free for you guys. This is a mission that my wife and I are trying to bring to you guys because we are excited about this stuff. It's Friday night. Who knows what I got over here in the Clouded Stocks mug, but I'm feeling good. So launch us a like button if you guys are feeling it as well. Please subscribe, share it with anybody you know that might find this content relevant. And oh yeah, one last thing. This is not to be mistaken for a financial advisor. This is just the internet sensation for speculation and education, Clouded Stocks. So always do your own homework. And remember, this is not a recommendation or a solicitation to buy or sell anything ever, which always involves risk. Now, straight to the program. Let's have some fun. Oh my goodness. All right, cloud heads. Here we go. My wife's like, what's a cloud head? I'm like, you're a cloud head. Getting right into it. IWM, shooting out of the cloud. You can see this thing. Oh my gosh. Ripping and roaring. We like to see a bar like this. Super fast overview because I know most of you know what a candlestick is. It's going to start at the bottom of this guy right here, and it's going to finish at the top. And what it did on Friday was it exited this big red cloud, which can be seen as an area of volatility. And you look at IWM, it's definitely been pretty volatile. I can't really say if it's found the bottom just yet. No one really can tell you that. If they try to tell you, tell them to get lost. But right now, it's on a nice little uptrend, and that's all we can really like because in the Ichimoku look, which of course we love on this show, we've got our 9-period line, which is a time period, 9 days in this case, because we're looking at a 3-month time span of all of these candlesticks, each one representing one single day. And yeah, our 9 line pointing straight up, that's what we like. We like to see price also above that line, and we like to see our 9, the blue guy, above the 26. So again, 26 periods here. The thing about the Ichimoku, a little bit different than moving averages, what I like, it takes into account the high of the time period and the low of the time period and divides it by 2. So if you like to trade using the wicks of these candles, the highs and the lows, it makes these moving averages even more valuable. So IWM, nice look for our small cap guys, hopefully playing some catch up here, and we can see this blue cloud forming in the future. We always like to see that as well. SMH, jumping over to one of the hotter sectors in the whole entire market, semiconductors. Like we talked about last week, we had ON, we had AMD, we had NVIDIA. Man, these chips, this AI movement, is it a bubble? I don't know. I'm not to say, but these stocks have been flying. So SMH has been doing the same thing. You could see this thing. When was this? 524, gapped up. 525, bang. 526, bang. 530 over the weekend. Did it hit the top at 151.71, or is it just pulling back while some of the other guys like IWM, some of your smaller and mid-cap companies maybe catch up because AI or tech in general has been ripping and roaring. Maybe it needs to cool down, pull in just a little bit. SMH, this is a great chart. Super quick overview of everything we're looking for. This is about as bullish as it gets. Big volume down here. Your Chiku line, which is closing prices 26 periods behind, exactly tracing perfectly 26 time periods behind closing price. You want that above the price bars here. beautiful. Again, your 9 is above your 26. Price is above both of those. And you got the nice blue cloud forming here, which is when span A is above span B. Now, span A, super quick, is going to be the 9 period line plus the 26 period line divided by 2. So that's going to give you part of your sort of future looking cloud, if you will. That's kind of how it acts. And then this other guy is going to be your 52 period high and your 52 period low divided by 2. So simple way of putting it, taken together, is you want to see a nice blue cloud moving in an upward direction, and you want to be above the cloud. Nice. SMH, you got it, baby. You got it. TLT, Treasuries. What's going on with the 20-year? This has a pretty nice correlation with growth stocks, and you can see that it really hasn't started to rip up from 100 yet. It got up to a 109 high. When was that? 109.1 on 313. It did drop to the 3-month low, which was actually $100 even, so it's trying to come up off that. And you could see this is kind of the inverse look of some of those more bullish charts that we've been observing so far in IWM and SMH. So this guy, Chiku line, pointed straight down. It's underneath the price buyers. That is bearish. We've got our 9 underneath our 26, also bearish. This guy, red candle, don't love to see that because it's the inverse of the green candle that I went over briefly. Opens at the top of the red candle, closes at the bottom. So it didn't quite lose the 9 period average line, still hanging in there. But the 9 is underneath the 26, and the 26 is surely pointed downward. So this thing still has some work to do. And you also got the cloud that you got to make it through above. So still not quite done for TLT and its association with growth stocks. Next up, WANT, want. What you want as a consumer, because this is the Direxion Daily 3X Bullish ETF, looking at the health of the consumer, which is so correlated to the economy, it's not even funny. So look at this thing. You got the big volume bar ripping down below. My goodness. This is a 50-day average line, this little yellow guy right here. And so you go to the current, or the last day, which was Friday, you got an average of 52,214 volume on a day. This day was 235,846, and the result was it ripped and roared above the closing price of the previous day and just totally gapped up. This is about as bullish as a chart gets right now, and you gotta love the possibility of some of these consumer stocks, your Shopify's, your Mercado Libres, your Amazons. Like, a strong consumer is just gonna do so much for the economy and the stock market and the economy, which are not always correlated, but we like it when they're running together because that's when the true bull gets released from the pen. This is nice. We really like to see this chart here. IPO. Let's look at our last ETF, and then we're going to get into the stocks. That's what this show is all about, is the stocks. So IPO, looking at the health of some of our emerging, younger, faster moving unicorn possible type companies in the IPO Greenwich Fund here. So again, another strong gap up. It actually hit its high price of the last 3 months at 31.04. Went down just a little bit here. You'd like to see it continue that trend, but you look down below, you got some big volume bars shooting over the last several weeks here, and all the signs that we like to see is the price above the 9. The 9 is above the 26. They're both moving up. The Chiku is free. It's roaring straight up. You got span A above span B, giving you this nice blue upward moving cloud here, and guess what? The last candlestick was above all of that. So party on, Garth. Let's go into the stocks. Upstart. My goodness, this thing is a monster. And is it going to be number 1 on my focus list? It could be. Actually, the funny thing is I was having a hard time hitting play on this episode because I had so many stocks that I was just fumbling through the playbook trying to come up with just 5 to talk about. So you'll see today we have just a couple extra that I'm going to try to get to. So we got to shoot through Upstart here. Beautiful, beautiful inside day, which just to overview, we'll zoom in. It's when the last candlestick on Friday doesn't go above the high from the previous day Thursday or below the low from the previous day Thursday. So you can see right here, it's kind of stuck inside, but zooming back out, we are above the 9 period line. The 9 period's above the 26. The Chiku is free. We got this nice cloud here. So possibly, we could flag out for a little bit, kind of come to the right here, maybe volume just flattens out and we don't get a lot of activity, that could be interesting as this 26 line maybe catches up a little bit. We already have kind of a high tight flag formation, which is one of the most beautiful chart patterns in all of the market. It hit a low down here of 1193. It's already more than doubled in price. So if it can kind of calm down and come in a little bit here, which I mean, possibly it has already. Price will be the ultimate verdict and tell us the news on this one, but it kind of already has come in a little bit in this pattern. You can see volume came in and then it shot back up as the stock did the same, but it hasn't really taken off just yet. And this inside day is showing you that it could go back down and test this 9-period line, or it could go above the high from Friday, which was 31.14, and try to attempt the high from Thursday, 32.02. Upstart, beautiful chart, could be my number one focus. DraftKings, this one, oh my God, oh, that's hilarious. I forgot to remove the trend line on this one. Just a reminder of the pain on DraftKings here. Just to, connecting lines on a chart, connected the high over here to the high over here, and look how many common points that created. And then just look at these trading day. This is Thursday, was right when I took it off my watch list. I know you guys can all feel that pain and relate as traders out there, but sometimes you miss them. You're watching too many fish in the fish tank, and you gotta narrow it down and try to focus on the best. So DraftKings, I think, is still setting up pretty nice here. You look at the high point and you connect it with the cursor. Look at over here. Look at this high point. Bang. Look at that high point. Bang. Look at over here. We got a low point right down here, and we got a little bit higher low right there. And look at all this volume on the chart. So like this thing's been here. It kind of came in a little bit. Then it was there, and it kind of came in a little bit. But it hasn't really started its run just yet. So kind of like Upstart, this is another one that could challenge that 9-period line, try to move a little bit lower, or it could rip and roar above this little formation that I was just highlighting right here, possibly test that 2641. So really interesting one to watch. Shopify. We're going to get it moving here because we have a special round coming up that I don't want to miss for you guys. Shopify, just underneath its 9-period line. Obviously, that huge gap up is very interesting here because the Chiku is about to run into these price bars unless it starts to go on a nice rip and roar and run here. So I would like to see the price get above this 9-period line and just continue higher. I'd like to see some authority, some breakout volume, maybe something like these guys. I mean, we'd really love to see this guy, the high volume candle from that gap up on 5.4. But you look at this here. You connect the high from 5.4. What was that? 59.82. What did we get to on Friday? 59.78. So within 4 cents of each other. What's our 9-period line? 59.73. Let's call all that 60. Shopify into 60. I'm very, very interested. Very, very interested. Coinbase. Another one. Challenging. Tugging on my heartstrings for possible number one focus. Coinbase, loved by Lady Art K over there, Kathy Wood. And the chart's pretty interesting. The chart is pretty interesting. You got an inside day like we had on Upstart, which is just above the 9-period line. On Friday, they tried to move it down to the 9-period line. And it closed within the candlestick, still below where it opened. So you got that red-looking candle, but it was actually a green bar down here, meaning it closed higher than the close of the previous day. That's all a little confusing. I even confused myself with that. The main point is it's stuck inside this guy, and the high of this inside or activation bar, the guy that's not inside right here, the high, you call that the activation bar. This guy here, inside bar. Activation bar, inside bar. So the high of the activation bar is, 66.36? Over here, our formation, we got to 65.94, and then we got a little gap over here. So that gap was from 418 to 419. Oh my gosh, if we can possibly close that gap, clear the wick from Thursday, that 66.36, that can really be interesting. Coinbase can be very interesting. App loving, our last official stock of the show. This guy, wow, talk about a nice flat base here, which can really go into space, as they say. Gosh, beautiful. You just connect it with your cursor, this 25.65. Look at this over here, 25.5. Just a nice, simple, even line. What happens in this little area in between? Volume kind of just dips down. Your relative strength line. Of course, I love this guy. I forgot to mention it until now. But you want to see that, kind of at a high point. You want to see relative strength high, showing that a high stock can get even higher. That's kind of what we go for on this show is momentum. We're not looking to bottom fish. We're looking for the stocks that are already high and hopefully going higher. So on that note, what's in the cloud can produce lightning. So we got some lightning shooting on these last three. It is a 10 stock / ETF program. So we got Toast. Toast, awesome. I mean, this Chiku here is starting to drop back down. It's above the red cloud. Tried to dip in, but the buyers took it above, and it closed just underneath the 9-period line. So if we can really get ripping above this, Toast, fascinating. Really interesting IPO type company. Nanox, another one I forgot to remove the trend line on. You got to love the punishment here, right? When you took it off your watch list, which was Friday, this thing shoots right up on some nice volume, and I'm still going to kind of keep that trend line and just use it as a potential area for a pullback, and maybe it visits this 9-period line as a pullback as well. Just possible areas to get involved with this guy, but Nanox, I think it has a lot of room to run. And then last, Ola Duolingo, this guy, nice flat base as well. And gosh, it's pretty interesting chart here. You had this nice little calm formation and then maybe a shakeout, tried to get into the cloud, caused our 9 to bunch up with the 26, but now it's nice and back above and we're flat here again. So maybe if we can rip off this inside day, which is what we've been looking for all along, we can get going higher on Duolingo. That's it, guys. Let's wrap up the show. Thanks for hanging in with me. Hope you learned something. All right, you guys. Well, that was today's show. Really appreciate your time tuning in with us. I know you have a lot of choices about what to do with your time, where to consider your investing, education, and entertainment. So really grateful for you guys hanging with us today. Definitely launch us a like button if you're feeling like you're in that mood. Subscribe, share, all that good stuff. It'll be coming right back to you. I promise you that. And remember to pair it with our other content. We got the hashtag Clouded Stocks for all the daily newsletters. And @Clouded Stocks is used with all of our social media handles. Shoot for the stars. And just maybe you might end up above the clouds. That's it, you guys. Have a good one.